Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I present to you Scrub Zero. Preseason is finally over. Preseason's over. Rosters get cut down tomorrow at 4 p.m. By 4 p.m., everyone has to be at 53. Obviously, that there's going to be a lot of waiver wire transactions, and even guys that get cut outright, they'll probably sound let's so there's going to be a lot of movement in this week coming. There's going to be a lot of movement. Guys who make the initial 53, that might not stay the same. You might see a few guys who make it, and then next thing you know, they got cut or they get waived. Some of them will go on IR. So, because there's certain rules, like with the injury players, some of them will start the season on the PUP list, physically unable to perform, which means they won't count against the 53-man roster. They won't count against the 53. We talk about some guys have to go on IR. Now, if it's IR with the chance to return, you have to make sure they're on the 53 first, because if they're on IR prior to that, their season's over. So there's still a lot of unknown right now. Don't think the 53 you see at 4 p.m. on Tuesday is the roster you're going to see is completely the roster you're going to see in week one. Then you got practice squad players, providing they pass the waivers and all that. So it's another arms race, so to speak. If you're a team that has cap space and had a bad record last year, because I think after I forget which week, but after a few games, the waiver placements will ultimately go to the team with the worst winning percentage to the best for the time being. I think for the first month or so. It's the draft order from this past draft, so wherever you place there, that's the order you can pick as far as waiver rights. You can claim a player earlier on. So in the Giants' case, they had the 5th pick in the draft. That was their pick, so I know they had 2 first-round picks, but remember that 2nd pick was Chicago's pick. So if a player goes to waivers and gets to the first 6 teams, if Chicago decides, hey, I like player X, they can pick up that player. That they won't pass. They won't get too far. So they're in a favorable spot. If they see anyone they like that they feel can help their team. So we'll see. The veteran, anyone who has 4 accrued seasons doesn't have to go through it. When they get cut, they're just cut outright. They don't have to go through the waiver process. And then they can pick whatever team they want to go to. So it's going to be interesting with that. Giants, with all their injuries, they suffered a few more in yesterday's game. Tyrod Taylor, from what Dable said, it doesn't seem to be too serious, but we'll have to wait and see. They lost. There's a few other players that went down. They were already without some key guys and some all linemen, and Ojulari, was back on the shelf along with Thibodeau, and it's rough, but it is what it is. The one thing I am concerned about with the Giants is the tackling from the corners. Because at least the backup guys, and even Aaron Robinson and Cordell Flott, but I didn't see the game too early. I didn't catch like the early part of the game, but I saw from like mid first quarter on, and the tackling has to be better because they let some of those Jets players just break tackles like they were nothing, and you're not going to win games if you're allowing the other team to break tackles. So they got to do a better job with that. It's going to be interesting to see what wideouts and what running backs they keep. I want them. I don't want Corbin to get claimed off of waivers. Now maybe a team might not, but I get the sense he's the kind of player that a team would see if he goes through the waiver process, they pick him up. I think the team would just scoop him up if they saw him on waivers. Because he could play specials in the coverage game. He can return for you. He runs the ball pretty well. He can catch out the backfield. So he's seems more of a guy who would start practice squad for the time being. But I mean, the team might have seen what he's done in the preseason games with the Giants, and like, I'm gonna take Deshaun Corbin. And maybe there's players on teams that are gonna get waived that aren't gonna make it to waivers because they not only did they show well in preseason, but teams had their eyes on them before and like, oh, word. And if they have maybe like a year or two in the league and they've shown some good traits, it might happen. Oh, the longer you've been in the league, the lower chance you'll probably get picked up off of waivers, because if that was the case, they would have picked you up sooner. But it's going to be interesting to see what goes on with that. I do like our backs though. I don't know about Breida, because he only played this last preseason game and he had 3 carries for 1 yard. I'm not feeling him, but maybe that's more so just because he's been injured and he hasn't played. Because I know he's not a bad player, just I haven't seen enough of him with the Giants to have a good feel for him. I like the rest of the backs though. I like the wide receivers. It sucks about Colin Johnson. He tore his Achilles on a non-contact play. So, and I thought he had a good chance to make the team. He was playing well. He's a big body, which is something the Giants don't have a lot of. There's a lot of smaller guys. There's been a lot of talk with Kenny Golladay. My only question is he going to fit this system, and will he play well? I'm not so much concerned about how much he's getting paid and whatnot. I don't think it's that serious yet, but he's got to show up. He got to do better than last year. Shep's still rehabbing. He's been practicing at least though from his torn Achilles. So he might start the season on short-term IR. He might not even be on IR to start the season. Might miss a few games, but it's gonna be interesting to see how all those things turn out. And I know every other team's got those questions, like guys who you're like, all right, if they're not going to miss the first 4 games, no need to put them on IR. And then you can't get a read on a guy, and he's pretty it's serious, but you don't know if he might make it back, and he's not really a key player like he could be, but he hasn't proven himself for your squad. Then that's the kind of player that might go on season in an IR, or a young guy that got injured is not going to be ready right away, and you just want to make sure you hold on to him in your program, that kind of thing. So I'm looking forward to it. We made our picks last night over on HD's channel. That's welcome to HD TV. Go subscribe to him. We made our picks. Shit was crazy. Made our picks for the whole season. I know by like week 4, I'm gonna look back. I'm like, why the hell did I pick these? I picked these games the way I did. Or maybe I'll be like, yo, maybe I should just pick mine more often. That's how it goes, man. So I'm gonna let you guys go. Make sure you hit the like button, share videos, subscribe if you're new, hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of the posts. And until next time, hope everyone has a great day. I am Scrub Zero. I'll catch you on the flip side.